Hi there everyone! For the next couple of days I'm going to be living in a remote cabin right beside this lake behind me. We are going to try to catch multiple types of fish. We are going to try to catch some pike, perch, bream, tench, crucian carp and all that good stuff. We are going to be using multiple types of fishing techniques like fishing with floats, live baits, fishing with spinners and lures and all that stuff. I'm also going to show you a medieval type of sauna and the experience of how to set it up and how to enjoy it to the fullest. So stay tuned. I hope this is going to be a really fun 1 or 2 episode trip. So yeah, and I cannot forget that I am joined here with my beautiful girl German Shepherd here. I think you're going to see her a bunch of times in this video. Stay tuned. Okay, I am getting ready for my evening session of catching some tench. Now it's like peak season tench fishing, and some might say that even after a week or 2 the season will be over. So yeah, hopes are really high up. I have bought a couple of those packets of ground feed, I guess it's called. And yeah, it should be really easy to just mix them up. I have used them quite a bit in my previous years of fishing. And I'm usually just eyeballing, if anything. I know just the general rule that I have heard from other fishermen that if you use 1 kilogram of feed, then you should add 2 to 3 kilograms of just dirt, black dirt or white dirt, depending on what kind of surface in the water there is. So yeah, I don't have like a dirt, store-bought dirt right now. But I'm seeing some like mole pits and mole mounds. I'm just gonna grab some dirt from that. So yeah, we'll be fine. So this is a mix carp, tench and crucian carp. I hope I said that right. So yeah, all the big carp type of fish. So this should be how much? 2.5 kilograms. If I use all of this, then I should add at least the same amount of dirt on top. But I think I will leave a little bit. I think I left like 500 grams, and yeah, and this is a feed especially for tench, but from a different make. So yeah, and the color is also completely different. It always smells so good. It's a bit hard to not taste it. I have tasted it when I was a kid. It's weird how the smell can be so different from the taste. Probably also the best way of wetting your ground feed is just pouring a bunch of water in it, right? Of course it's not. Of course it's not, but I'm just doing how I have been doing it, and it seems to be working regardless. And I don't really like that idea that you have to do everything with the utmost precision and thought behind your actions. Well, you have to in some way in fishing in general, but I look at it as a pastime activity and something that you shouldn't complicate too much. And I actually really hate when there are some fishermen that are overcomplicating everything. It just takes away the purpose of fishing, for me at least. Of course, if you're doing sport fishing and your like whole life depends on it, then for sure, yeah. For me, it's like I'm not gonna bother too much. So yeah, I guess I will just mix this up, add some dirt, let it sit for a while, then add a little bit more water, and we'll try to start dropping some feed pellets onto the spots that we're gonna go fishing. I found this little piece of wood in the shed, so it's a little bit easier to stir up that stuff. If this is seen by like professional fishermen that goes with those feeders, they're cringing really hard right now. Looks really good. So you're supposed to leave it sitting for a bit so it just like soaks up. Then I'm gonna add a little bit of that dirt and probably a little bit more of that feed, and we'll be ready. This is how somewhat a finished product looks like. I'm gonna still add a little bit of grubs, like white grubs, and corn, sweet corn. If you know me from those fly fishing videos and stuff like that, then fly fishing is always like super clean, like flashy and calm and beautiful. And in this kind of fishing, you're like messing around with dirt, with fish feed, and like hooking on some grubs and stuff like that, all the dirty stuff. But since we are trying to get multiple species on, that's what it takes. Drop our pellets in the spot we're wanting to fish, and I'm thinking of trying right that spot there. And if that place is not any good, we're gonna try other spots, of course, as well. It broke apart mid-air, so I probably should compress it down a little bit more. Oh, perfect. Still broke up, but it's fine, because those pieces were pretty big. You probably can't see stuff from there because the sun is right in front of it. Don't want to make it too hard, because then it will just sink down and sink in that mud, and no fish are gonna find it because the whole feed is like sunken down in the mud. Is there any problem, mister? Not gonna find it there, buddy. As it usually goes, I didn't film the catch, I didn't film the take, but that spot works and the feed works as well. We have our first contender, our first tench right here. It's not a big one, but they sure fight strong. It's like this. Nice red eyes. Okay, let's do a nice release. He's going like backwards. That's it? Yeah, he's gone. Okay. Well, that was the first one. So I'm sure that everything is working as it should. And probably gonna grab my chair and try to catch a bigger one. I have settled in after making sure that everything is working. This is how our bait looks like. That's just a big ass worm with corn as a stopper. And yeah, let's see if we can repeat what just happened on camera. Okay, it appears that my bait did manage to sink down without getting molested. Oh yeah, beforehand, I do want to sincerely apologize for, I mean, in case my feet are sometimes in the frame, because surely you didn't sign up for it and I didn't as well. It's weird because wind is coming mainly from the lake, but the line keeps shifting all the time from the left to right, like against the wind. Maybe it like turns somewhere like this. Yeah, the float is again like sleeping on the surface of the water. I have something on. I don't know what it is. Another one. Would you believe me if I would say that it was on an empty hook? Probably not, but it was. I think I like accidentally hooked him because I was measuring the depth there. Okay, buddy, let's try to park it in. Oh, yeah. Slimy as hell, though. Yeah, okay. See, he's gonna go like backwards. No, this was a normal one. After fishing for trout and grayling, where everything is like super clean and slick, this is a little bit different. Okay. Need to reinstall me some worms. Let's try to get another one. I was like resetting my baits and hooks, and all of a sudden it's like completely shaded. And thunder is rumbling as well, and I'm looking there and it's like, wow, this huge storm cloud. That right there, that's my favorite to see. And that one is cumulonimbus in its dissipating stage. You can tell it's like, you can imagine it as like a huge anvil. Got something, not as big, small rather. Bigger than all of the trout that I've caught this season. Probably. There are so many those little fish, those roaches, every time that I'm just dropping in. Hook is clean by the second. And there's no talk about putting a bigger weight, putting a smaller leader or something like that. The weather situation looks something like this. Just amazing here. It changes by the minute. It was like 40 minutes ago, it was like baking hot still. And now it's like the cold breeze from that storm. A little bit chilly even. Okay, let's see what's there. I already know what's there. There's nothing to be seen. Yep. Just like that. Some kind of reed though. Oh yeah. We have something good. Not too big. Oh no, we're still on. Oh, he wrapped himself around those leaves. Yeah, he wrapped himself. I can still feel him. I can see the fish as well. Yeah, he wrapped himself. It's a tench. Okay. hoping he's gonna, oh yeah, he released himself there from those leaves. Doesn't want to come up. Nice one. I'm gonna allow him to run a little bit so the line is a little bit longer. Okay, seems like he's tired now. Come on. In the net. Nice one. Still small one though. But that's the targeted species at least. Hope you can see him. Where's the hook? Nice. Right in the corner, right there. That's out. They're having like almost like a bone in their lip. So hard to get it out. Slimy fish. And he's gone. Slimy one. Well, okay. Bit of a change of direction here. I was constantly hearing how perch are hunting little bait fish behind me here. And also, with that previous place, oh yeah, there's one. With that previous place we were fishing, it was like those small roach and bait fish were like devouring the biggest, that's a little nice guy, the biggest worms like there is, like huge worms. As soon as the bait drops on the water surface, you're already on. And I just went through like 10, 20 huge worms, which I don't have as much, just on like small bait fish around. And then all of a sudden it's quiet, and then you can expect to catch something bigger, then you catch something bigger, and then again it's like you have to catch 10, 20 little bait fish, roach and rudd, and then again it's like quiet for a second because something bigger came around, and all the time like that. The dog is absolutely disgusted about my absolutely mid performance, or yeah, probably she's just watching the ball. Oh, I got a big one. She's watching the ball she dropped in there like 2 hours ago. You're probably like going, hey, you maniac, please take the ball out of the water and give it to your dog. And let me just ask you a question. It's a nice panfish actually. Like how they raise their fin like that. They're angry. Isn't this a nice picture? Yeah. See ya. Yeah, so let me ask you a question. What do you think is gonna happen after 30 seconds after when the ball has been given to her? It's gonna end up right back in. I don't know what kind of game is she playing, but I'm pretty convinced that she thinks that she can set the ball on top of the water surface. And every time, somehow, the ball is disappearing. Why? Something like that. Another one. This one's a small one. I wouldn't have anything to eat. I would have myself a decent dinner right now. Already, flicked it out of its mouth. Oh, yeah, another one. It's even better than yesterday. I did this yesterday as well. They're small, but it's really fun to do. Sorry, buddy. Got slammed a little bit on the deck. On the deck. Yikes. Okay. I got one. The smallest one. It's like completely black one. It's really dark color. Still sitting here. Hey buddy. Shot away. Weird how like they're biting on every cast almost. And you can see like rumbling all over the place. And all of a sudden, like that, it just switches off. It stops. Like okay. We're on the lake in the morning and we're working with this delicate piece of equipment. It's originally a salmon stick, but it will do just perfectly for some pike. And it's a little bit before 7 o'clock in the morning. The sun is already so high up. If I would want to fish on that really early morning, I should get in the water like before 5 even, because it's like it gets bright really fast, and the sun is already pretty high. And yeah, so what I'm gonna do is first of all I'm gonna try to get them right near the reed lines, a little bit closer to shore, because that's where I've gotten most lucky in this lake. And if that doesn't work, we'll try to catch something in all the deeper parts, in the deepest parts of the lake. And yeah, and while I'm still going, I'm gonna troll a little bit, and I'm having like this wobbly thing on. It's a silicone lure. You can already see we had a little test run yesterday. It has a bite right there, bite mark. So yeah, I'm gonna just toss it in. I'm still having my salmon leader on, which is just really thick monofilament, like 0.05 almost. I'm a bit too lazy to switch it to the Kevlar one already, but after probably losing a fish or damaging my Later I will do so. Probably I should do it right now. Fish are living in the reeds, and we're just trying to pull the lure a little bit across their living quarters. So we're having a chance to get a bite. I tried already yesterday here. It was more that direction, as I told, but it was taking the lure when I was like dragging it really slowly, so like super slowly, almost even like without any action, just like scrolling like this, and maybe stopping it at some point. And one thing that I saw, I think it was a reel or something, is basically if you have a fish that is trailing you, then don't, when you're close to the boat, don't like raise your thing up, but in the opposite, just like keep it down and even try to make some kind of figure eight, because if there's something trailing, a bigger probability that it's gonna take right before the boat, because if you're dragging your lure up, it's gonna see your boat and get scared away. But if you keep everything pretty deep, then you have a chance to still like aggravate it, so it takes the lure right in the sun. And I'm not using any anchoring systems, electrical or manual. I like to just slip by like this. Actually works even better than pulling the anchor in and out all the time. I just put on my Kevlar leader. It's like 40 centimeters long and it's really thin, so I really like those. And with this, like with catching pike, you never know, because there has been a situation where like everything turns on for 30 minutes and you're like catching fish, like catching 2 or 3 pike in like 15 minutes, like 4.5 hours. It like turns on and then it's completely off again. It's not like you can just go all the time and catch them all the time. Probably there are some places where you can do it in this lake. But yeah, usually it feels like it turns on and off. And in the summers you have to be, it's like too calm, it seems like. Too calm, too quiet. But I guess that's how it is in the mornings in the summer. There's a pretty big storm cloud behind me. Probably gonna rain later. Trying to cast a little bit away from the reeds now. Yeah, if we don't catch a fish like in the next 10 minutes, then I'm probably gonna shift to some deep parts of the lake, try to get there, because this reed stuff isn't working, doesn't seem to be working now. That's a good cast, right in the reeds. Let's change the color a bit. Let's go from this white, orange. Let's go to this blue color. I've noticed that those light bluish colors work on this lake. Hey, stop. It should work quite well. Let's see how it looks. Alright, in the reeds. Ah, I got it. There was just something that grabbed the lure, like left like this tiny bite mark down here on the tail. Not even taking it, but oh no, here as well, on this side. So its mouth was like this big. Weird. But again, there's sometimes even like pike that are only twice as big as the lure that are taking it. So I'm not too worried about that. Because usually if they're hungry, they're eating whatever. Usually this stretch is really good for pike. You can like get 2 to 3 just in one time passing there at a time that they're biting. The tactic that we're just passing the reeds wasn't working. We just got a mere bite from a tiny pike probably. And now it may seem like I'm just in the middle of the lake, which I almost am. But what was a surprise to me, well, it's pretty logical, but it was a surprise that, you know, lakes and bodies of water aren't just like flat surfaces as you see them as the water surface. They're just not like flat like that. So I was looking at the map of the lake, and as you can see there are like small hills over there, and behind me on the other side there also are some hills and yeah. So it just means that if you see a hill or a cliff on the other side, the land mass is probably going in the same way. It doesn't like magically stop on the water surface. Oh yeah, got one finally. Oh no. It spat it out. I thought I felt something nibble on it. And I was like, what? Made a pause a little bit. And then she was on, just barely. Left some bite marks here and there. Wasn't a big one, wasn't a super small one. This was like 55 centimeters, maybe 60. Whew, at least something today. How did it spit it out so quickly? Got something on again. Not a big one. Let's try to land this one. I can see the hook is like just in the lip. Hook is out. Come here, buddy. Like this. Here's a small one. So this area has gotten me one fish that we didn't catch like completely, and one just now, and there were a couple of like nibbles a little bit while ago. So it tells me that this place is active in this morning. So I'm just gonna try to stick around a little bit more, like drive that way again. Try to fish out something out of those. Go that direction completely and then just allow the wind to take us down again. After I come from the lake, there's someone who is really upset about it, that I was away for so long. Someone is really upset about it. Are you upset about it? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Will you forgive me? Well, if you remember how the morning was, absolutely flat water, calm, warm, and no wind, then in the evening it's exactly the opposite. For the half of the day it was like this. Winds up to 30 knots, which I believe is like 22 meters per second, I think. And right now it's 9:15 in the evening. And it is quiet down a little bit now, so I want to go for a spin in the evening, just for a brief moment. Whew, it's so nice to be on the other side of the lake. Like, the trees behind me on the other side and the hill is like sheltering the wind, and it's almost completely calm here. And I don't know if you can see that, but on top of that tree there's a crow sitting there. That usually means it's more like a saying or something. It means that the weather is going to change. Not necessarily for the better, but it means that it will change. And I think from this kind of weather, any change is good. Oh, I got a hit. A tiny, tiny nibble. just now. I'm pretty close to shore, like on this side, but this is also one of the deeper parts of the lake below me. So I'm hoping to trigger some kind of a monster pike from deep below. And it's cold. It's not that cold. Probably is something between 15 and 18 degrees. The wind just makes it a little bit worse. I am in the spot where I want to cast in, so I should be there and cast right here, but okay. I'm just wanting to keep a little bit closer to that side of the lake because it's a lot less windy there. And the weather forecast showed that it will die down a little bit towards the evening, like towards 10 o'clock. Also don't want to be up too late because I want to be on the lake early tomorrow in the rain. What? Somehow broke off my line. Right there. What? What? Okay. I guess see you in the morning. Yeah, the whole day and the whole evening has been like this. Not the rain so much, but how it changes like in seconds. First of all, it's like sunny for a second, then it's black clouds again, and then this. And the wind isn't stopping a bit. I guess this is me signing off from our day number 1. And let's see what tomorrow brings. Hopefully not as much wind and rain as right now.